This Thursday, head down to Mad Anthony's and watch people talk about their dicks. This Thursday, go see my buddy Josh Merrill at the Comedy. And don't be a cuck. Take your girlfriend or wife to emo night. It's gonna be a real blast from the past. Enjoy the show.
Okay, Vic Vinegar Show, episode number 3. Got ourselves Amanda Hannah here. Basically a ghost scientist. A scientist for ghosts.
Mad scientist.
Yeah. I would say, what was it? Is there any ghosts next to me?
No.
No. Okay, good.
No, you're good.
It's a close one. I get worried about them. You don't know what ghosts are into. You know, most ghosts, I assume, have some unsettled past. They want to pillage and shit.
Yeah.
But she was telling me about an interview that she
yeah.
had recently done, and, you know, here we are. So let's get into the paranormal here.
Yeah, I was just saying that my very first podcast that I ever hosted was Rob Demarest, and of course he's the head lead investigator on Ghost Hunters International.
Okay.
And that I was like hyperventilating, and he talked a lot.
Yeah.
So he kept it going. But yeah, that was the first one I ever did. It was
Yeah, I assume
crazy.
you don't get to the top of the ghost world without talking a lot.
I mean, a lot. He's very intelligent, and he speaks well. He's super articulate, but
Well, and I assume there isn't a lot of facts. Like,
Yeah,
there isn't a lot of hard evidence.
No,
You'd have to be
yeah.
a good talker.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, a salesman of ghosts, if you will. You'd have to,
I've been in sales my whole life. Maybe that's why I'm good at this.
yeah, you have to peddle the ghostery. You know what I mean? Especially if you want to make any money doing that. I
Right.
assume.
Yeah.
But you know, you do Wicked Wonders,
We do.
WW,
Yep.
in my
Yep.
head, and yeah. So you've been lots of places.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we started a group based out of Raleigh back in 2012. I actually joined in 2013, but my best friend Maeve and a couple other girls. And yeah, we've been doing it a long time. We've been to my very first actual, professional ghost hunt was actually Waverly Hills Sanitarium.
Yeah.
So it was like one of the scariest, named probably the scariest and most haunted building in the nation.
Oh, really?
Was my very first one. So
Fuck.
yeah.
And
yeah.
what was that like?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think my nerves got me more than anything because I had such anticipation, which we got a lot of evidence. But
Evidence.
right, we got a lot of evidence. We got the ball rolling around. We got the flashlight cutting on and off. Spirit box was talking, that sort of thing. But I don't know. I kind of have this theory. I mean, Maeve and I are very scientifically based, and we're testing different theories that we have just from our experience. And one
Yeah.
of those is that if you're really anticipating something, you go in somewhere and you're like, oh my God, I want to see a ghost. I want to see a ghost. I want to be scared.
Yeah.
Then your energy is then creating and manifesting, around you. And
Yeah.
we tested it with these groups that we would take on what we called excursions. We took people to Gettysburg, and we would just provide you a whole weekend of ghost hunting, and we
Yeah.
provided the equipment and what have you. But, we could pull maybe 5 people into a room, and we'd be in there in silence for 30 minutes. We're using the same tools and get nothing. And we take those 5 out, pull in 5 more, and we're getting so much activity, it's not even funny. And it often makes me wonder, if
like
it's
maybe
something
their
we're sort of
energy's
creating
doing it.
ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, if the dead have energy, we obviously have energy too.
Well, sure. Yeah.
I mean, clearly it'd be almost the same concept.
Right. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
They'd almost be probably a little bit less energy than what we are, or maybe not.
Be either
I don't
way.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows?
I guess maybe that would make me think, what would be the difference between a living being, and a dead one?
Energy wise?
That's energy wise. Would it be the same? Would
No, I wouldn't think so at all. I mean, I kind of feel like, and
what stops them from getting in our plane?
I mean, they do come in and out of our plane. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to catch this evidence.
True.
But,
True.
I just feel like we, as living creatures, we are constantly creating our own energy, and it's believed that spirits have to sort of pull energy from the things around them. So, obviously, we're the dominant energy force.
Yeah, but if death happens all the time, so constantly,
Right.
So what's the Passover like? Is there? You would assume there would be a Passover. There would be more ghosts than you could fucking deal with. Because if you think we're a population of 7 billion,
Right.
increasing by however many million a year, and then so many million a year dying,
And like if they all hung around.
There'd just be a fuck ton
It
of
depends,
guys.
I guess,
Dick to
on-
butt everywhere.
It depends on what you believe. I mean, my thoughts on the afterlife based on the interactions that I've had with the spirit world and the questions that I've asked and the, the energy around you. And I mean, I sort of have my theory about where we go when we pass, but it's a little different than most people's.
So what's your theory on it?
Well, my theory is, and most, mediums that I've spoken to, who have that interaction and can actually ask these questions to these spirits, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
They all kind of have the same theory, and it's like heaven is what you think it is. I mean, it's not based on what necessarily the Bible says it is, but it's just a higher frequency than where we are now. So when we pass, our energy goes up to that higher frequency. While we're here on earth, though, basically God is yourself, and it's your higher soul that stays in heaven all the time. And technically, I guess earth would be hell, and your higher soul, your higher being.
Earth does fucking suck.
Right. And I mean, it's constant lessons and trials and tribulations, right? And
real
basically, picture your higher self up there in heaven, and that's your main spiritual being. If you have something to learn, because there's these different levels of heaven, your regular spirit heaven, your entry, and then you've got your God realm, and then you've got your angel realm, and then above that is just the divine. That's just light and love. That's just where your energy combines. And you have to kind of work your way through these levels, right? So if you're stuck here in this first level, your higher self's hanging out in this first level, right? And there's something that you need to go through to be able to progress and raise your frequency, raise your vibration. Then you're in line, you're in this line, and you're waiting to become a bag of bones.
Stuck in line forever.
And this
dude.
may be your last trip to Earth, and it may not.
So maybe if you suck at fucking figuring it out, you might end up a ghost.
Well, not necessarily. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
Well,
just
we all.
Maybe they're like, you know what? Fuck it. You fucked up too much. How about you go try to be a ghost for a little bit?
Well, and once we pass, we can all still communicate with our loved ones and still come back to Earth and, and visit. And then we've got this perfect place up here, and it's exactly what you want it to be. You look like what you want to look like, and you live where and how you want to live. And they say you see color there that you can't see here, because here everything is physical. If I touch it, it's real. If I can see it, it's real. And there are no limitations. There are no time limitations. You smell things that you would never smell here. You see and hear things there that you would never hear here. And what the goal is that in your time here on earth, that you embrace kindness and love and spirituality, and learn as much as you can and become as enlightened as possible, so that when you do pass, maybe it's your last time here and you can ascend.
Well, let me ask a question. So why is it always kindness and spirituality and niceness? Why can't it ever be like, you need to embrace the evil, you need to fuck up as many people as possible and get your numbers up, and then we're going to let you up here?
Because the point of the whole journey is to get to the divine.
But maybe all ghosts are pussies.
The divine is love and light.
Maybe all the ghosts are pussies, and like all the people who whip people's asses are like in heaven.
I mean, maybe that just means you're coming back, probably.
I mean, but if you're a Viking or something, that's what kind of you believe, right?
Yeah.
So you believe like the strong go to heaven.
I mean, I believe that we all do.
Yeah.
I believe that we all get that shot at that. And people who do, bad things here on earth, they're going to come back and go through this hell again. And they're going to have to keep doing it until they figure it the fuck out.
I think it's troubling to think that way, though.
Yeah.
Because I think that, I think you can do bad things here.
Yeah.
And I think that people do bad things all the time.
Yeah.
And I would like to think they don't get stuck here. But then at the same time, it's just weird. Like, it's just a weird concept to think of a heaven or a hell or a frequency that's higher or lower. I mean, like, whenever I think of like religion, my brain instantly is like speculation.
Right.
I mean, it's just like, we're all speculating in a loop in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
Let's just listen to ourselves all day, divinity and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. Like, so I've been to church probably 10 times in my life.
Yeah.
And each time, from the time I was a kid to the last time I went, I hated it.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it.
I've always hated it too.
Everybody
I just can't relate.
Fucking
fake, and I can't relate, and I feel totally uncomfortable.
They're just nasty people.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. I mean, it has nothing to do with Jesus or the Bible, what I'm talking about.
Mm-mm.
You know?
No, that's what I'm saying, but the heaven thing, when you use the word heaven, it implies implies like a certain thing.
It's just given the name heaven
and stuff like
that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really, those are just the names that have been given to it so that we as humans can understand it, you know? Up there doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
You know, we gave it that.
Yeah, and my inner cynicism is hard. So
yeah. I get it.
It's a rough one.
I get it.
Like I would think that, me personally, I would assume that the Vatican just makes loads of money off this thing, and I'm pretty sure the Jewish people own the Vatican. So I don't know.
Wow.
You could probably link those things together pretty quickly. And that's kind of crazy, but at the same time, they were the original bankers of the Vatican, and all the original popes were Jewish.
Yeah.
So
not to mention us peons will never know.
we'll never know.
We'll never get enough clues to put it together. No.
But either way, so when you're on these hunts, when you're looking for the ghosts, what what do you like pick like a corner or you just like when you're going through a house, do you like pick look up the house and see where the trauma happened, or is it? I
don't. Maeve does.
Yeah.
I rely on my energy and intuition.
Yeah. So you're just like looking around.
Yeah. I will do, or I should say we will do a walkthrough of the place, just kind of casually, no equipment, maybe a voice recorder or something to go with us, and just kind of chill and walk around and kind of, get the lay of the land. And then we go and get a game plan. Here's what we're going to do. But she knows the hot spots. She looks everything up. She does all the research. She does all the historian work. She does. She's the contact. She talks to the owners where we're going, and she arranges everything and that sort of thing. So,
all right. So she's like the business end, and you're like the talent.
I mean, I hate to say that. We're both the talent. She's definitely probably bringing more to the table than I am.
Definitely. I would assume. So, but either way, I mean, no good partnerships, not without the other. But so you just like map these things out, and then you go in, and so you just kind of just wait for something to happen, or do you agitate? Is there like a certain type of agitation?
Well, I mean, of course, I'm gonna let myself be drawn to the areas where I feel the most energy, and I mean, we may start with just some simple communication, just like you would see on any ghost show more than anything, just tap on something and give us a sign you're here. And as it progresses, then we use the tools that would be most useful in those situations, because it's kind of different everywhere. And I don't like to use a lot of tools. I mean, for entertainment purposes, it's great. You know, when we're filming, it's fantastic because it gives the viewer something. You get to kind of feel like you're there.
It shows you kind of.
But I much prefer just to have my voice recorder, my flashlight, and just experience it. Yeah. That's my favorite way to go. But
so if you. And when you do find something and lock onto it, I mean, is it like really apparent? Is it like blatant? Like it's like almost like trying to communicate with you or fuck with you? Or?
Well, I have to say that I've been doing it a long time, and we've done a lot of investigations, and it's pretty rare to get something where you're just like, we can't explain that away with science. You know what I mean? Because again, Maeve and I are scientific minded, and we're always looking for that, to debunk it. Because
you don't want to bullshit yourself,
right? And unless if there's a possibility that it's not paranormal, then it's not paranormal. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's true.
I've only had a couple things happen.
Well, what was one of those?
I just could not. Well, I call it my aha moment. We were doing the excursion in Gettysburg, and we had like 20 people there, and we were there for a few nights, and everybody was exhausted. We're up all night investigating, taking small intervals of naps during the day because we're all having to meet, kind of come up with a game plan. We're giving them itineraries and going over everything, signing waivers. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of rest. So the last night...
Gettysburg was a huge battle.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And it's everywhere. Everywhere is haunted. The gas station's haunted. The hotel's haunted. Like everything is haunted. So, but the last night we were there, we had done all the touristy spots, the famous spots. We did the Jenny Wade House and the battlefield and Sachs Bridge and the orphanage and the ones everybody goes to. And then that last night, everybody sort of bowed out except for my team. All of the guests were like, we're exhausted, we can't do this. And so they went back and they wanted to sleep. Yeah, which was like the worst decision they ever could have made, because we ended up with these people that were local, and they took us to a couple like local spots that had not been, investigated before. Shit, and it's like, it almost seems, and again, this is just a theory, but it seems like if a place is overhunted, it just kind of goes away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the more it's investigated, the less evidence you get. But we ended up at this. I'm going to make this quick because I'm a talker. But
no, you're cool. No, talk on. That's what it's about. We're supposed
I could do this all night, but
no, we're supposed to be talking.
So we were. This guy had taken us to this Union hospital, and it was just, we were expecting this hospital, right? And it was a house. It was a little bitty house, right on the edge of the battlefield. You've got the cross fence, right in the backyard, and the people that were living in it the renters were moving out. They still had stuff kind of boxed up and sent everywhere. So this place had not been investigated, and it was like 3:00 in the morning. It was our second location of the night, and we go into the kitchen, and right off the kitchen, there's like a hallway to the right, and then there's a parlor. A doorway into the parlor off of that hallway. Yeah. And then another doorway here that went into the same room. So you could see two ways into the same room, right? And we had the Blaze camera out, which is just a little thermal, like it pops on your phone. Not a thermal, a night vision. And it pops on your phone. And you can go real time with it. We could go Facebook Live on it and that sort of thing. So we're just standing there. Maeve's holding the camera, and she's pointed just straight down that hallway. And you can sort of see into that room just a tad. And the guy's talking, and we're just all standing around. We'd been there 2 minutes. He's telling us the history of the house and how it was used as a hospital and blah, blah, blah. And how they couldn't keep renters. And these people had only been there like 3 weeks, and they were moving out because it was so bad. Right. Yeah. And Maeve just kind of nudges me. And I kind of, I lean over, and there's a guy, clearly a guy from 6 to 9 feet away, that steps out of that doorway, and he like leans down and looks at us. I mean, you can see everything clearly. His eyes are glowing in the night vision, like he's standing there. Yeah. And he kind of leans forward and looks at us, stands back up, and steps behind the wall. And I immediately just dart toward it. And there was nothing. I searched the whole house. It went all the way around and, came back down. And that was sort of my aha moment, where I was like, wow, like I cannot explain that. Like I could see his clothes. I could see his hair. I could see his facial features. Like he was about my height. Like,
but he wasn't there.
He was not there.
That's wild.
He was not there. And we, before we left that night, we kind of reenacted it. And I stepped out from behind the wall like he did on the camera. And it looked eerily the same.
That's fucking wild.
I know. It was crazy.
And is there footage of that?
Maeve's got it somewhere on the Blaze. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The same night, same place. It's the only time I've ever heard my teammates scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, like shriek, scream.
So it was just one of those places.
I found them. I ran the stairs because I'd never heard them scream before. I was outside in like these burial mounds or whatever, Yeah. And I heard them scream from inside, and
so the presence was there.
Oh, yeah. Place. By the time I got to the top of the stairs, or halfway up, they were screaming, "Don't come up the stairs, don't come up the stairs." But they were up there huddled together in the corner of this bedroom. And I mean, we're professionals. I mean, we get scared, but I've never,
but not like that.
We don't scream, we don't run, we run toward it. We may have a moment where we're like, "Oh my fucking god, what the fuck was that?" You know what I mean? But then we get it together and look after it. Yeah,
try to figure out what the fuck it was.
They were genuinely like terrified.
Shit,
like huddled in the corner. So it's the only time it's ever happened.
Have you ever felt terrified like that? Like where you think something was like stalking you?
I've only had one experience like that. We were at St. Albans Sanatorium, and I was 7 months pregnant, which is usually not allowed, but because I'm so experienced, they let me go ahead and go.
What are they going to scare the baby out of you?
Well, yeah, but they were like, "You can't go, it's dangerous." I'm like, "Please, I've done this many times." But we were down in the boiler room, and there's like a bowling alley and a boiler room down there, and I mean, boiler rooms are scary anyway. I don't know if you've ever been in like an abandoned one, but
it's just creepy. The name boiler room.
I know, and it's like it always makes you think of Freddy, and it's like it's a bad deal to begin with. But we were down there, and there's like the legend of this guy. Gosh, I think they called him Red.
Yeah, Red, the boiler room.
I don't know, but you could like leave him cigarettes, and he would like come and get them. Like you come back, and the cigarettes would be gone.
Dope.
Yeah, but
I like Red.
Hold on. The whole time I was down there, I just kept feeling like I was being touched and pulled on and tugged on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody else was feeling it. And it was so bad. Now, and bear in mind, it speaks volumes because this place was a maze. It was very difficult to maneuver around in this place. It was
to like
set up
navigate
really
it.
weird. Yeah. And I quit.
You
It's
quit?
the only time I've ever quit. I said, I am out. I am done. I got touched so many times. It was terrifying.
Just felt like you were just being pulled on, fucked with.
Yeah, and it was getting more and more aggressive. And I was not, and I was pregnant, and I was like, I'm not going to do this.
Oh, that is weird.
And it was bad enough that I came out by myself the whole way and found my way out of that terrifying place alone. So
maybe like you could sense like the young life.
I don't know, but I think that I was like
vulnerable.
Well, but I was like hyper paranoid anyway because I was pregnant.
Yeah,
there was
maybe
part of
that's
me
what it
that was
was.
like really uncomfortable anyway, just being in the situation. But
No, that probably checks out because like
Yeah.
you just if you're pregnant and you have a life growing inside of you, you'd probably
Yeah.
be in your own head about like
right, and I was in mommy protective mode.
yeah, what could, like
You
the
know?
scariest of movies. Is
Yeah,
like,
when
was it gonna take my kid?
Right, and when
I'm
it's
gonna
just me,
birth
I'm like,
this
fuck you,
demon?
bring it, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
with the baby, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta, don't come near me, don't touch me, don't come in, I don't want to hear anything. I didn't even want to be there, really, but.
Yeah, I think my only paranormal encounter was the one I can't explain away.
Yeah.
Period. The one I'm like, yep, no, ghosts are probably pretty fucking real.
Yeah.
Is I used to live in this house on East Street in Waynesville.
Yep.
It's not very far from
Yeah.
here. It's very close, and I would taunt the ghost. Like, so I always felt him, and like he was there, and shit would rock, like the chair would rock, like unnecessarily,
Yeah.
and shit would move, and like I never cared.
Right.
Like, because I was like, there's a fucking ghost here. Who gives a shit? And so I'd taunt him. And I'd be like, go fuck yourself, you dumb idiot. And I'd get drunk
Yeah.
and I'd walk up the stairs and I'd talk shit constantly. And then one night I was shit-faced. And it was probably like the last like 4 days I was there because we were packing up our stuff. And I had like ramped up the taunting because I was like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
You're on your fucking own now, you piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
I was fucking with him.
Yeah.
And doing what I normally do, which is fuck with the stupid ghost that isn't real, that does actually show himself from time to time to people and piss and make people fucking freak out.
Yeah.
But, because I had people who stayed there who were like, yeah, your fucking house is haunted.
Right.
Like, I'm never going upstairs in your house
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and that's where my room and Justin's room was upstairs. And we didn't give a shit because we just taunted him. We didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, the bathroom never worked right. The
Right.
plumbing was perfect, but it never worked right. Because he was fucking with it. He's a fucking dickhead. It was always like that. He was just such a cunt. Because, like, I had fixed the plumbing completely, and it still was fucking up. And it was not, like, I had people look at it, and they're like, no, it's fine. It was just this cunt.
Like, there's no
it was
reason
just
it
this
shouldn't be
cocksucker
working.
upstairs just fucking with my bathtub.
I'm like laughing at you.
Well, because downstairs is a stand-up shower, and I like taking baths.
Right.
'Cause I'm a little
I like
frou-frou
taking baths,
that.
too.
And so, like, he'd always fuck with my baths. But either way, getting to the point, well, like, one night I was fucking with him. I was about to leave. I had all my shit packed up, but we had, like, mattresses on the ground. My girlfriend wasn't staying there at the time. And, like, fucking the doors just kept fucking slapping shut. Just all night. They wouldn't fucking stop. And it
Yeah.
was all night. Like, it never stopped. And, like, even when I shut the door and pulled it to,
Right.
made sure it clicked, still an hour later, wham!
Yeah.
And I'd wake up and I'm like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah,
it
he's
was
like, I'm gonna make you
fucking
wanna leave.
bad. No, it
Dog
was bad.
shit.
And I think it was just a bad relationship where I just fucking taunted him so much that he just got mad at me.
Yeah. He was done with your shit.
And I think that's the one thing I can't explain away because there's no reason for none of that to
Those
happen.
cabinet doors. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it just wasn't something that I was expecting, even though I knew that there was maybe a presence there, or maybe I might have just been fucking around with him and made myself paranoid into thinking he was there.
Yeah.
But that night it was like, oh, the doors are just keep fucking slamming.
Yeah.
It's annoying. This is annoying. And like the bathroom door would slam, and then the fucking my door would slam.
Yeah.
And I'd make sure it was shut, and then it'd slam again. I'd
Yeah.
do it was just a real motherfucker. And it was just one night, and then the next day it was fine. And,
Yeah.
and I stayed there 3 more days or 4 more days, and
Yeah.
it never happened again. So.
And when things happen in your own house, that's a whole other animal because, like, if it happens somewhere where you're not familiar, like, you don't know if there's a draft, when we go into
Yeah.
investigations, we're always reasoning away. Maybe the floor's a little soft there and it
Maybe
causes
the door slams all the time.
Right. Yeah. But when you're at home,
Yeah,
and
whenever
you know
the door
the
never
routine of
slams
your
like
house,
that,
yeah, that's completely different. I hate when shit happens at my house.
It's fucking wild because you're like, okay, well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, light the sage, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, my daughter was telling me this morning, she was like, Mom, my closet door just keeps opening. She's like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, why don't you just try and say hi? At this point, I mean, it's been happening that long and hadn't bothered you. Why don't you say hello?
Well, honey, we're going to get you a night vision camera.
That's funny.
Well, shit. Well, this has been a great episode.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to have you on again after the
I'd love to.
documentary comes out. Documentary comes out. That's how I'm saying it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think the world needs to know about these invisible bastards.
I think so too. I definitely think so too. And I would like to be the one to teach you. Mm-hmm. Can I just plug Wicked Wonders a little bit and plug the movie before we go?
Out of it.
Okay, Wicked Wonders is a group that my best friend and I have put together. And and we did Paranormal Investigations all this time. Mm-hmm. And we're bored. And we want to branch out, and so we are expanding, and we are doing, and that's where the wonder comes from.
Yeah.
Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to start filming these documentaries, and we already have one filmed. It's called The Woods. It should be coming out really soon.
Okay.
But we start filming again at the end of February, and it's a local one this time. I don't want to give too much away, but the haunt is a local haunt. And
we'll plug it here.
Yeah. And I don't know the name of it yet. We haven't done any of that yet.
We'll have you on again when it comes out.
Awesome. We're in pre-production now, But Wicked Wonders, what we want to do is we want to go on these adventures, these wicked adventures. We want to go to these places that nobody's gone.
Yeah.
Because even though it's been done to death and there's 100 million, ghost shows out there, there are still lots and lots of places that are untouched. And we want to go there, and we want to take you guys there. For the people that can't go, that don't have an interest to go and see it in person, but they want to be scared and they want to know about these places, we want to take you there. And for the ones who can,
exciting.
we want to write your bucket list for you. So stay tuned with us.
Hook me up. I want to go.
Definitely. Anytime. We'd love to have you.
All right.
Yeah. We will do that.
All right.
I'll scare you. But we're going to do aliens and cryptids and just anything out of the ordinary. So
that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
And we need that too. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's the whole reason I wanted you on. So I just thought it was really cool what you do. And I just think it's fucking awesome. So
thank you.
Yeah. So hit her up. I'll put all that stuff in and around these areas. And see you.
Bye.
Easy enough.
That was good.
It's headphones.
I know. My left.